to complain about Google. Okay, so there was some history with Microsoft working together with this company, with this PR company, to create proxies against Google. And this is what the news totally misses now. This isn't a firm that just came out there and worked with Facebook. There is some history there. And Microsoft was using their services before. I also found this company in the context of something I wrote about Richard Berman. He was one of the scummiest men in the world. You know, this guy would lobby for like anything, like tobacco and alcohol, and he's an expert in how to create those fake grassroots groups, these AstroTurf groups. And he's got loads of them, I think like 20-something of them. And he manages to always hide who's behind these things, because of course they have to have some so-called legitimacy. You have to treat them as some sort of controlled position. So if he creates something that's against the oil industry, it probably will be controlled by the oil industry. They will try to send out a very confusing message. So in some cases, things like drunk drivers and, you know, I think mothers against drunk driving or something, women who lost their kids, you know, he would exploit their cause or whatever to make money for himself. There is a site called, I think it's called BermanExposed.org, or maybe BermanExposed.com, and I think that pretty much explains what he's been doing. Even his son basically called him a son of a something, kind of insulting his mother at the same time. He's insulting his grandma, actually. It's very objectionable. And I found this firm in the same context as this person. Another firm that's doing, actually a better known firm that goes against Google is called, Consumer Watchdog. And I usually put consumer in scare quotes, and I also put watchdog in scare quotes, because what it is actually is just an attack dog. It's not a watchdog, it's just an attack dog. And it has mostly one company in mind, and it's very mysterious that they used to be hosted by Edelman, which is a firm which was pretty much well known to people for the laptop bribes for Vista. So Windows Vista back in 2006, I think, was distributed to bloggers just before the release in 2007. And Edelman was behind that. Edelman is also crushing unions and doing all kinds of nasty things, but hey, they make money, so must be successful, as they say. But these firms, lobbyists and PR and stuff, I have all kinds of wiki pages about them, and I've been trying to learn them and to share my research on what they do and which proxies they operate from, because the way they work, it's a bit like the patent trolls. They basically set up all those kind of small entities and things, and very shady characters and names of people, and they can keep changing names just to defend the reputation of the bigger clients. So even Microsoft, and I'm sorry, I go a little bit off topic here, even Microsoft is actually hiring many of these companies, because once they get caught, as in this case, in this case I suppose lots of people point a finger in Facebook's direction instead of the company, instead of this PR agency. But in lots of the cases, when you have these incidents of trolls, you know, leaving comments and abusing people who are criticizing the company, people will say, oh, it's just a rogue operation, it's a very bad PR firm, oh, naughty, you know, instead of going to the company which actually paid them to do exactly that. And that company is, you know, working for Microsoft to, you know, working for Microsoft, posting in people's Microsoft critical blogs, you know, posting all kinds of insults or rebuttals, and trying to make the people look bad if they criticize the client. And I say kind of client because this is the way they view things. They don't have ethics. They have clients. That's all they have. In this case, company was just paid by Facebook to use its influence inside the Hill, you know, Capitol Hill, whatever, to cause trouble to Google. And they say it was done in an attempt to try and move away the scrutiny from Facebook and try to make Google look like the poster child of privacy violations.
I mean, I think it's rather a sad story, and it's rather a sad indictment of today's marketing techniques, really. And it's something that both me and Roy have experienced in the past, and I'm sure countless other people have experienced this type of action before by certain undesirable individuals that will comment on blogs or send emails or whatever. And I can't see why people think this is, I think, was it Joe Wilcox who called it guerrilla marketing?
Yeah, I think he said he likes it, though.
Yeah. In theory and on paper, it's probably a very good idea. But the reason why it's sad is because in this day and age, people don't buy into everything they read. People are willing to do their own research. The internet has provided a medium where everybody can talk to each other, and as soon as word gets out, it spreads like wildfire. Maybe 20, 30 years ago, this type of behaviour would be very easy to cover up, and this type of behaviour wouldn't be read about, or if it was, it'd be very by a few minority, and it wouldn't be believed. But now with the internet, the word gets out within minutes, and the whole planet is talking about it certainly within a couple of days. And it's also very sad because whilst we have some undesirable individuals who will comment on people's sites and they'll try to inject FUD into any comment, any review or article that dares to suggest that there's an alternative to Microsoft, what this behaviour actually does is it cheapens legitimate people who actually do like Microsoft products. And I'm sure, whilst I'm very critical of the products because, like I said before, they're not fit for purpose for me, I'm quite sure that there are many legitimate people out there who are just normal, everyday users who have Microsoft products who are probably very happy. And because of the behaviour of companies like this and many other individuals on the internet, what I'm quite sure they'll find is that when they do make a comment saying that I'm quite happy with product X, people will turn around and point the finger at them and say, well, you're only saying that because you're paid to say it, when that's not true. So I think it's very damaging, and I don't see any value in this type of public relation type work at all. And nowadays, everybody is a skeptic, everybody is a writer, and everybody looks at a comment and examines it with a fine-tooth comb, and if there's anything just remotely dubious about it, then people are willing to look further into it. And I think the days of blindly following what you read and blindly following what you see on the television are long gone now, and unfortunately some companies, and certainly the corporations that maybe employ these PR agencies, haven't cottoned on to this yet. The other thing, Roy, I just wanted to say, and it's quite interesting, I've been a reader of Cola or Compost Linux advocacy in its Usenet group for quite some time, and I'm very interested in the way that this type of tactic works in the Linux news groups. What it has done, in my opinion, from reading over the years, is that when people have a point of view, and we all have a point of view about a certain technology or a certain piece of software or whatever, and people do like to group themselves. So whatever choice they select, for example, it may be even something as simple as a BitTorrent client. There might be those who choose Deluge, there might be those who choose Transmission. But once people settle on a product or a package that they like using, they tend to group themselves with it. And I often liken it a little bit like football team supporters. So you'll have your Tottenham, you'll have your Arsenal supporters, and people like to have some sort of identity with the package that they've selected. Now, from a lot of these actions and a lot of these shady individuals, shall we say, for want of a better word, what they tend to do with their vulgar comments, with their attacks on individuals, with their attempts to cheapen people's points of view, is they make the issue personal. Now, if somebody came to me and said, well, I disagree with your views on Linux, I find Apple Macs far better, and listed the whole list of reasons why, I would say fair enough, and we'd maybe have a debate, and then we'd go away and shake digital hands, and that would be the end of the matter. But when people are insulting, when people are vulgar, when people try to cheapen your viewpoint, what it does, it makes it personal. And what I've noticed in forums like Cola and everywhere else on the net is the second you start making it personal, it strengthens somebody's resolve in whatever their view was. And I think if there is some sort of campaign going on within Usenet or in any forum to silence the view of anything that's anti-Microsoft, then I think it's done more harm than good, because what it has done is strengthened the resolve of the people who honestly do believe that there are better alternatives for them out on the internet. And certainly I've been promoting Linux and free and open source software for quite a few years now on the basis of an honest held belief. And it'd be misleading for me to say that I felt over the years that my resolve has become stronger purely due to the personal attacks on me, because as soon as it becomes personal, then it's a subject close to my heart.
I think it's more. I have actually I told a friend of mine today. I'm trying to keep track of how many accounts or websites were just built to attack me, just specifically to attack me. I kind of lost count of that. I know about 5 accounts were terminated because they were trying to impersonate me. But I view it more like a trophy, and people who try to do that, they don't realize, they only give more attention. I mean, I saw a person today linking to a video I did a while ago in speaking to Leo Laporte, basically, and I just thought, what's this person? He's trying to cheapen me by basically showing the people my video or show, and I wasn't sure if it's supposed to just advertise the thing. And, you know, they do try to distract and to